It's Friday, February 5th. This is The Street Live. I'm Catherine Ross, and I am, as always, joined by Jim Cramer. Jim, the jobs report showed 49,000 jobs were added in the last month, and jobless rate slipped to 6.3%. But let's look at the overall market. I know that there are some stocks that you're eyeing, which include Lucid and Estee Lauder. What are you watching in general?
Well, look, I'm focused on the fact that this number, the bigger number, always does matter. Did a lot of work for many years saying this is the most important number when it comes to macro figures. And what it says is the Fed is still on hold. I know a lot of people are always being asked, well, when interest rates are going to go too high and wreck this move. Well, you just got another reprieve. I think we're fine. I did speak with the CEO of Lucid, Rawlinson. I thought most impressive. And if you go to the website, you can order a Lucid. There are various prices. I think the Lucid is a gorgeous car. My wife is very interested in getting Lucid, but my wife's very interested in getting a Hummer. My wife is very interested in getting an electrified F-150. My wife's very interested in getting every single car, so it's a little bit problematic for me. But I also, of course, am focused on GameStop. I'm focused on GameStop because it's become a comedy of errors. There are a lot of people who say, Jim, what is your motivation? Okay, here's my motivation. Last week at this time, at this very hour, give or take a few minutes, I was catheterized. I was in a tremendous amount of pain. I refused to take painkillers because those disrupt your thinking. And I called in. I called in because I was worried about individuals being hurt about GameStop. It was at 300. I wanted people to take profits. My motives are pure. If you question my motives, Jimmy Chill says, I have a special set of skills that are just a nightmare for people like you.
So now that you brought up GameStop, Jim, I do want to ask you about Robinhood. They now have, a little over a week later, as you noted, removed all restrictions on GameStop and AMC. This is sending GameStop up. It's up about 32% to $70 a share. But both stocks have been under pressure this week, immense pressure. And I'm wondering, what do brokerages need to do in order to show their customers that they can be trusted following this saga, if you will?
Call Salesforce.com, bring in Mark Benioff.
Okay. That's a pretty simple answer there. So,
yeah,
Jim,
it's what they need to do. I mean, trust is very hard to get back. Trust is probably the most important thing you can have in business. That's what customers want. The trust here has been very damaged. There's no doubt about that. You can't restrict trading. You can't. Do we really know that they got the best price? Did you get the best price? Yeah, it might have been commission free. You weren't able to get what you wanted to do. That was because of some breakdowns. Why do Mark Benioff is not in there for dross. He's not in there to be able to sugarcoat things. What he's in there is to be able to help people recognize that perhaps Vlad Tenev and his organization, and I've been very supportive of Robinhood, very supportive of the people in Robinhood, the Merrymen. They deserve the best. All you want to do is give the Merrymen the best. If Vlad Tenev can give them the best, then God love him. But we have to be sure that the people are protected. We have to be sure that the Merrymen do not get second-rate prices anymore. And that has to be investigated, and the company has to rebuild trust, and it's a really hard thing to do, which is why I suggested Salesforce.
Jim, I want to move into earnings because we got a slew of reports yesterday. Peloton posted sales of more than $1 billion, and they're making an investment to improve their delivery. Jim, looking past the pandemic, will your Peloton go back to being a clothing rack, or is this kind of workout here to stay for people even after they return to so-called normal?
I've been working from home because of my back, and it's very much a clothes rack. I know that Allie, somebody my wife liked at some point, and I know that my wife loves spin classes. But I think the idea, if you can get rid of the social distance requirement and people are going to be able to go back to spin. I have my friend Lori Bebelt's a tremendous spin instructor. She motivates people. I got her to play Darlington County for a while because I happen to like Springsteen. And I do think that what happens is that people want commonality. Peloton's a fantastic software company, and Peloton it's making great treadmills, I understand, from the United Kingdom. And they bought a company that I think is actually an okay company for exercise equipment away from that. But Peloton is spending $100 million trying to get the bike to you. The bike is just a vehicle loaded with software. I don't know what Apple's got in mind for healthcare, but they're good. The clock isn't ticking on Peloton, but think about it. It's a $46 billion company. That's 22% of the market cap of Netflix. Thank you for BMO for this, but a fraction, 1% of the subscribers. So I think it's a battleground, as I said, in real money. You're not paid to be able to make a decision on Peloton. You're just able to watch it. Watch Peloton. Don't make a decision.
So let's talk about another earnings report, which is from Ford. I know you talked to CEO Jim Farley just before you joined us today. So Jim, based on this earnings report that I'm looking at, I've got to say that you seem to be right on the money when you talk about Ford really making a comeback in the eyes of Wall Street. And I'm wondering if this comes at a difficult time for them with this chip shortage with the F-150
Yeah, it does.
production.
Yeah, Jim Farley's the real deal. He's broken with the tradition of commitment to lose money making cars everywhere as long as they can say that they're going to make cars everywhere. That was just something that's a thing of the past. They only have 2% share and change in China. I'd rather have them just make cars in China and make cars in the United States and make some cars in South America and some cars in Europe, but only make cars that they make money, and that will be able to fund this incredible EV issue where he's doubling the amount for EV. The chip shortage is very real. I spent a lot of time last night speaking to the companies that are involved directly in the chip shortage, and it's an 18-month issue. The Chinese are hoarding our chips dramatically. The Chinese, it's like hoarding toilet paper over there in China. We've screwed up the supply chain amazingly. We've let Taiwan dominate. We don't make factories here. Thank you, Intel. We definitely need a whole new set of foundries. It takes 18 months to get the Lam and the KLA-10 core and the applied materials to be able to come in and have the chips. So I think that this is going to be a real impairment. I think it's why the stock is in 14.
Well, Jim, the headline is finally here. J&J did request emergency use authorization from the FDA on their COVID-19 one-shot vaccine. If this shot does get vaccine approval, can this speed up vaccinations?
Well, I was actually quite surprised and a bit let down that J&J had so few that they're ready for. I know that I've had Emergent Bioscience on, and I know they're a partner of J&J. I was expecting J&J to have a dramatically larger amount of vaccines ready. This is not enough to make the dent. We're going to continue to have more companies make vaccines. Obviously, it's not as good as the Moderna or the Pfizer. It's just not. I mean, they make some claims that are great that you're not going to fatalities, no, hospitalization, no. But it's one shot and it's easily distributed, but so Sputnik. And so I want J&J to make a commitment that they'll do $1 billion and that they'll do $1 billion after this because they have the capacity and they're willing to use all different laboratories around the world to be able to do $1 billion. That's the commitment that J&J needs to make, and that would justify the stock being where it is.
All right, Jim, very quickly before we move to our Action Alerts Plus Daily Rundown show over on actionalertsplus.com, I do want to bring up the Super Bowl because I think that there's a stock that you're eyeing, and I wonder if you're eyeing it ahead of the Super Bowl, which is Penn National.
Yeah, Penn National, look, what we're seeing is this is a stock that is heavily shorted. A lot of people felt that Penn National, Jay Snowden is CEO, brilliant. The tie-up with Barstool wouldn't necessarily mean anything. Barstool turned out to be an incredible source of acquisition. The Michigan numbers were incredible. Pennsylvania is really good. The partnership, I spoke with Dave. The partnership between Jay and Dave is just amazing. And this is the company that has been the most thoughtful from a brick and mortar state, and also, of course, from the app that Barstool has. And I congratulate them. I like this stock at 50, then I liked it at 20 initially, and then it dropped to 3, 4. I doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down. I remain a gigantic believer in Penn National. Now, it is the most expensive gaming company, so you could say let it come in a little. But I think the people who misjudge Portnoy misjudge the fun of him. And I know that there are issues, and I'm not denying them. I have issues myself. I've often said I'm deeply flawed. Dave's got some things going on that I don't necessarily want. What are we going to do? He's a Patriot fan. But what matters to me is that it's working, and Erica Nadine, the CEO, is doing a fantastic job. It's a great combination. I'm glad we're up 100 points now in Penn Nat, and I think that's pretty good to be up 100 points.
All right, come join us over on actionalertsplus.com as we discuss Ford, we discuss Take-Two, and NLOC. I'll see you over there on actionalertsplus.com. I'm Catherine Ross, and we'll see you on Monday.